Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that really tries to cut through the noise and get you the insights that matter. Today, we're diving into something pretty fundamental. It's not just a technical thing. It's a huge shift in how we look at truth online, especially, in Web3. We've gone through a lot of material for this one. And the core question, really the mission for today is, well, it's pretty stark. In this flood of information, screenshots promising riches, gurus everywhere, how do you, the informed person, tell what's actually real?
Let me just jump right in here. If you, right now, are still basing your decisions in Web3 on, say, screenshots shared in some Telegram group, or maybe those flashy PDFs promising crazy returns, or just the word of some self-proclaimed expert, then listen very carefully. In Web3, the rule isn't trust, it's verify. Period. This isn't like a friendly suggestion. It's fundamental, non-negotiable. And you need to understand what happens if you don't. Those who fail to verify, they become collateral damage, cannon fodder. It's harsh, but it's true. Don't trust, verify. It's not just some cool phrase for crypto enthusiasts. It's literally the line between surviving and, well, becoming another sob story about a rug pull. Because on the blockchain, there are no second prizes. Laziness isn't just a bad habit, it's financial suicide. And believing blindly, that pays zero. Absolutely zero.
Wow, okay. That's intense, confrontational almost. But maybe it needs to be.
Yeah.
Still, it feels jarring for a lot of us, right? I mean, we grew up trusting. That's how society works, isn't it? We were educated that way.
Yes. Precisely. You've been trained meticulously since you were a child to believe without asking too many questions, to just accept authority. Think about it. All the old systems run on this kind of implicit trust. You trust your bank shows the right balance, right? But you've never seen the gold. You haven't audited their books yourself. You trust the government uses your taxes fairly. Do you know where every cent goes? No. You trust your doctor reads the report right, gives you the right stuff. Why? Because, well, he studied. He knows. That's the logic. You trust companies follow the rules until suddenly, bam, there's a fraud investigation in the news. The traditional way. It's almost like a religion, really, a secular one. There's this invisible authority, and you just have to believe blockchain. It's the antidote. Not a perfect one, mind you. It doesn't get rid of trust completely. That's impossible. But it removes the venom. It minimizes trust down to the bare minimum, and that changes the power dynamic completely.
Okay, so moving away from just trusting, what does verifying actually look like day to day? For someone navigating Web3, someone who's informed, how does this actually work beyond just saying the words?
Right. So in Web3, the smart player doesn't just listen to the story. They validate the facts aggressively. It's like an intellectual self-defense. Let's take some common examples, but dig a bit deeper for, people who are already in the space. Say a project claims they burned tokens. You don't just find a burn transaction. No, you check the address it went to. Is it a real dead address, verifiably unusable? Or is it some contract that could maybe mint them back later? You trace the transaction, sure, on the Explorer, but you also check it against their own tokenomics documents. Does the action match the stated intent? Is it really deflationary? Or maybe you're worried about a dodgy function in a contract, a potential rug pull mechanism, maybe a hidden mint function. You don't just stop at, oh, the code's open source. That's step one. You look for reputable, independently verifiable audits. Linked on-chain, ideally, not just a picture of a certificate someone posted. You learn to spot common risks, reentrancy, flash loan stuff, owner controls. You need to understand which part of the code actually matters. And liquidity, that's a big one. Don't just look at a big number on a pretty PDF. You need to analyze the pool depth on the DX. What's the slippage like for a realistic trade size? Can you actually get out? Is the liquidity really locked? For how long? Check the lock contract itself. Don't just take their word for it. It's the difference between listening to a sermon secondhand and holding the original text yourself, being able to read it. Web3 removes the need for gurus, for charismatic leaders telling you what's true, what's left. Raw data, math, cryptography. Blocks on a chain. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
That's a very clear distinction, going beyond just the surface check.
Yeah.
But why is this shift, this intense self-verification? Why is it so revolutionary? What's the big impact besides just dodging scams?
Because blind trust. It's always been the manipulator's best friend. Always. It's the perfect soil for deception to grow. Think about history. How many times have politicians said everything's fine right before a total collapse? Companies swearing top security just before a massive hack. Gurus promising guaranteed returns right before they vanish with everyone's money. These aren't just random accidents. They happen because people trusted without verifying. It's systemic. Blockchain turns that on its head. It doesn't ask for your faith. It demands you open your eyes, participate in reality. That's the revolution. You don't need to believe anyone anymore. You have the tools to check for yourself. And once you grasp that, really grasp it, you stop being an easy target. You become sovereign. Those who don't, well, they keep walking towards the cloud smiling. because someone told them the view was great. Oblivious.
That's a stark image. Sobering. But hang on, if the tools are there, free explorers, public data, and the cost of not using them is so high, why do so few people seem to actually do this deep verification? What's stopping them?
Because it's work. Simple as that. It demands discipline, relentless discipline. And most people, they prefer comfort. It's just easier, isn't it? To believe the nice-looking screenshot than to open the Explorer and wade through transactions. It feels easier. It's easier to follow the loudest guy shouting in the Telegram group than to spend, 20 minutes checking his claims against the chain? It's definitely quicker to repeat some marketing slogan than to actually try and understand the code or the token distribution. And this right here, this is the filter. This is where you see who makes it. The blockchain gives you everything you need: explorers, dashboards, open contracts, all the data. It's all out there, but it doesn't force you. It can't force you. The choice is always yours. You verify, you gain sovereignty, or you trust, and you end up wrecked.
Okay, makes sense. But does this mean trust just vanishes completely? Like zero trust? Are we supposed to be paranoid about everything in Web3?
No, that's a common misconception and an unhelpful one. Trust doesn't disappear. It can't. What happens is it gets distilled. Minimized, spread out in tiny, verifiable doses. You still have to trust something. For instance, you trust implicitly that the network validators are generally honest, running the right software. You trust that a reputable audit report, the one you verified is linked on-chain, is actually accurate in its findings. You even trust, to some extent, that the block explorer you're using isn't feeding you bad data, right? But see the difference. It's not blind faith in one central point. Not anymore. You're not dependent on one company, one person, one authority who controls everything. Instead, you're relying on multiple points you can check against each other. A network of verification points. Minimized trust isn't a leap of faith in the dark. It's more like Keras. Carefully stepping onto a tightrope you can see is anchored in solid, verifiable data points. It massively reduces your risk.
That's a really important distinction. Distributed risk, calculated trust, not just blind faith. Can you give us a really concrete example, something that clearly shows this difference in action?
Oh, easily. Let's talk about those infamous yield farms. Remember them? Promising like 1,000% APY a couple of years back. Plastered everywhere, the websites, often beautiful, really polished, looked super professional. The white papers, the PDFs, full of complex charts, fancy jargon, designed to impress, maybe intimidate a little. They'd even flash official certificates or audit badges, often from some unknown company they probably paid all over Twitter and Telegram. Looked legit, right? A golden ticket. But what did almost nobody do? Beyond a quick glance, almost nobody actually went and looked at the smart contract code, the code controlling the whole thing. 2 clicks on Etherscan or Bscan, find the verified contract source. A few minutes of looking, if you knew what to look for, would show you plain as day. The contract owner often had a special function, maybe mint, unlimited new tokens, destroying the value, or even worse, a function like pull off funds, letting them just drain the entire pool instantly. And what happened? Cool, money gone. Poof. Did the blockchain fail? No. You recorded the scam perfectly, transparently. The players failed. They chose the shiny marketing over the hard, verifiable data. They failed themselves.
Yeah, that example hits home. We saw so many of those. Okay, so for the person who really gets this, who internalizes don't trust, verify, what actually changes for them? How does their whole interaction with this digital world shift?
Everything changes. Honestly, the whole way you perceive information. Your whole epistemology shifts. Think about it. Old world banking. You believe a press release saying your money's safe. Blockchain. You see the transaction proof. You see the assets move or not move. Traditional finance. You trust a signed piece of paper, a legal contract. Humans involved? Fallible. Blockchain. You see the liquidity locked in the DE contract right now? Governed by code. Real-time proof. Before, you waited for some quarterly report, probably massaged to maybe understand token distribution. Now, you check on-chain anytime. See the percentages, the active wallets, the governance votes happening live instantly. It's like taking off VR goggles that only show you the pretty picture someone else painted and putting on crystal clear glasses that let you see the raw, naked reality. Unfiltered. Verifiable.
It really does sound like a total mental reset. Rewiring habits built over a lifetime. How do we actually train ourselves for this? How do we make this discipline stick?
Yeah, it takes practice. Let's use another metaphor. Think of blind trust like. Driving a really fast car, but you're blindfolded, and the person next to you just keeps saying, trust me, I know the road. You're completely dependent on them. Their skill, their honesty, even just them paying attention. Minimize trust. That's ripping off the blindfold, installing a top-notch GPS, checking the map yourself, watching the road ahead, every curve, every potential hazard. You're driving. Now, sure, the car might still get a flat tire, the engine could fail, stuff happens. But you are not a hostage to someone else's promises anymore. You see the road. You see where you're going. You decide to keep going or pull over. That's sovereignty, digital sovereignty.
Love that analogy. Makes it very clear. But still, that temptation to just relapse, to trust, take the easy way, it's strong, isn't it? Those old habits die hard.
Oh, absolutely. They sneak back in, even when the blockchain's right there, totally transparent. The vices of a lifetime, they surface. You'll catch yourself looking at an edited screenshot that promises the moon, thinking, maybe. You'll be tempted to just repeat some slogan you heard without checking the actual data behind it. You'll find yourself swayed by someone who just sounds really confident, really credible. Even if they offer zero proof, these are ingrained shortcuts, habits of convenience, laziness, frankly. And if you don't actively fight them, constantly cut them out, you'll just end up using blockchain the same way you use banks, eyes closed, giving away your power. And the result, same old story, disappointment, loss, feeling like you got tricked when really you just didn't look.
Okay, so we need a training plan, a practical exercise. What can someone do day in, day out to build this verification muscle, especially if they're already familiar with the basics?
Right. Needs rigorous practice. Here's a more advanced exercise for you, something to really drive it home. Pick any Web3 project you've looked at recently, a new DeFi thing, an NFT, maybe a DAO proposal, something that caught your eye. Now get serious. Open the Block Explorer. Find the main smart contract address. Find any linked independently verified audit reports, not just claims of audits. Your mission isn't just the basics like supply. Go deeper. 3 critical things. 1, analyze the wallet distribution. Is it really decentralized, or do like 5 wallets hold 80% of the governance tokens? Huge risk factor. 2, check the liquidity pool depth and slippage. What does it actually cost to sell a decent-sized position, not just a tiny one? Can you get out if you need to? 3, scan the transaction history. Look for weird stuff, anomalously large transfers, evidence of past flash loan attacks, suspicious interactions between related contracts. Look for signs of deeper problems. Okay, once you've done that deep dive, that forensic work, write down just 2 sentences. First, what the project's marketing told me. Second, what the on-chain data actually showed me. That gap, that often shocking difference between the narrative and the reality. That is your training. Stare at it, feel it, share it with yourself. That's how you learn. Look, minimize trust. It isn't some minor technical point in Web3. It's the heart, the absolute core of this whole decentralized idea. Once you truly get this, once you start practicing it, you will never look at a screenshot the same way again. Never. You won't accept promises without asking, where's the on-chain link? Oh, you won't trust just because someone sounds important or confident. Blockchain doesn't kill trust. It minimizes it surgically, reduces it to an auditable minimum. And that small change, it changes everything. But remember this, it's a final verdict, really. This habit, this discipline, it's binary. You verify and you survive, you thrive, you become sovereign, or you trust blindly and you die. Financially speaking, it really is as simple as that.
Wow. A profound and unyielding conclusion, not just a good idea, but truly binary, survival versus, well, the alternative. This deep dive really hammered home that don't trust, verify isn't just a slogan. It's a fundamental rewiring we need for this digital age. Unlearning old habits, embracing the tools we actually have. Definitely take that mindset, that discipline forward into all your digital interactions. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive.